Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about how to use your game chart with your original Pokemon games on Game Boy. Now, this is the game chart that I have, and you can see it states that it works for both the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Pocket. I do not believe this is compatible with the original Game Boy. So Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color. I do believe it's compatible with Game Boy Advance systems that are backwards compatible with Game Boy games. So your Game Boy Advance and your Game Boy Advance SP, not your Game Boy Micro. It also does work on a Game Boy Player on Nintendo GameCube. However, I was not able to get it to work on a Game Boy or a Super Game Boy. So those are kind of the consoles that I know it works on or doesn't work on. Right here, I just have the Game Boy Color for reference. One thing to note about this Game Shark is there is an on-off switch over here. Um, if you flip it to the right, so if I'm facing the Game Shark and flip it to the right, I guess and my left, your right at this point. That turns it on. If you flip it to the left, that turns it off. So if you were to turn on your Game Boy with the switch flipped to the left, you would see the Game Shark logo boot up. However, the your game would straight up boot right after you see that Game Shark logo. If you flip the switch on, not only will you see the Game Shark logo, but it'll take you to the Game Shark menu. So that's just something to note. And obviously, you can see there's a cartridge slot here. That is where your game goes. So Pokemon Blue, stick that on, and then obviously it just slides into your Game Boy, just like so. Not too bad, right? And now it's ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to record this footage on a Game Boy player to make it easier for you guys to follow along. So we boot up the game, we can see that Game Shark logo appears, and then it takes us to the Game Shark menu. Again, if you boot up the game, you see the Game Shark logo, and it doesn't take you to the screen, it probably means that your on-off switch is in the wrong position. So once you get to this screen, you can see at the bottom it says Pokemon Blue/Red. You need that to match whatever game you're using in order for the codes to work. And I can kind of show you how you would change that. But so if we want to look at the codes that we're using for our game, we would go to codes, hit A, and then we can see there's a whole list of Game Boy, Game Boy Color games here. All you have to do is find the game that you're playing. So of course we're playing Pokemon Blue/Red. They're the same on this, they're not separate. So Pokemon Blue/Red, we would hit A. And we can see a whole list of codes that we can use. I believe some of these are probably preloaded onto the Game Shark when you first buy it. And then I believe others, it'll save codes that you add manually. And so today I'm just going to use a few codes that I find helpful, if you're just trying to mess around in the game. Um, and of course, if you wanted to turn a code on, you would just highlight it and hit A and it turns it on. But so I think a lot of people probably want to add their own codes. And so if you wanted to do that, you hit the select button. In my case, I'm on a Game Boy player, so I have to hit the Y button. If you hit select, you get a few options here. You would hit add. And now you're in the screen where you would add a new code. And so first off, you have to name the code. So the first one I'm gonna do is my own money code. So this code will give me extra money. And I'll just type in money and then hit start once you name it. And then you have to add in the actual code. And so for these, I found these off of a website. I'll link the website in the description so you guys can see it, of course. And so all I'm doing is typing in a code that I found online for infinite money. And then so I type it in and hit start. It'll ask me if I want to save the code. I will say yes. And so now that I said yes, if I scroll down to the bottom, it's not at the bottom. Oh, it's right here. So I scroll down to here, I can see that that money code that I just added is now on the list and it's labeled as on. And so I'll add in a few other codes just so you can kind of see some of the stuff you can do. So another one that I like is add, again, hit select, hit add. This one will be master balls. This will let you buy master balls in the shop. Oops, I misspelled, didn't I? So you hit the B button to go back in case you want to name this correctly. And I'll just call it master. And so I'll type in the code. So 01017 C. Okay. Again, just hit start once you put it in. Hit A if you want to save your changes. Another one that I'll make is a code that will make it so wild Pokemon are actually Mewtwo. So of course with the Master Ball, if I encounter a Mewtwo, I can easily catch it. So if I wanted to catch a Mewtwo, this would be one of the easiest ways to do it. Assuming I'm not near the end of the game, I suppose, right? So I'll call this Mewtwo. And again, if you want to like actually make this capitalized, you can hit select and before you hit the letter and it'll actually capitalize it if you want it to look nice when it's saved onto your Game Shark. But so I just type in the name as always, and then I put in the code. So 01. And something to note about this Mewtwo code is this code is the same for any Pokemon that you would want to use it for, except for the third and fourth characters. So that 8-3 specifically relates to Mewtwo. The rest of these characters, if you were to use this code for a different Pokemon, would be the same. So the 8-3 actually relates to Mewtwo. And in that link that I'll post, it will have the unique identifier for every single Pokemon. So you can use this for any Pokemon that you wanted to use it for. So I hit start, ask me if I want to save, I'll say okay. And then one more code that I'll turn on is, or add, is Psychic. So this will let me buy the TM for Psychic at Pokemon Marts. Which, of course, Psychic in this generation I think is probably the best attacking move in the game. And so this will give me the TM for Psychic, 01. And kind of similar to that Mewtwo code, the third and fourth characters in this code relate to Psychic itself, the Psychic TM itself. If I was to use this code for a different TM, all the characters would be the same except for the third and fourth characters. So that E5 relates to TM. I think it's TM29 for Psychic. Okay, so I just hit start, and would you like to save changes? Say yes. Okay. And again, in that link I'll post, it'll have the code for each individual TM. So now I'm on the screen, I can see, the codes I just added are turned on and other codes are turned off. So here's where you would turn on or off codes. And so, you can see I have Money, Master, Mewtwo, and Psychic on. So those are the codes I want to use to show you guys. So at this point, I would now hit B. It's going to ask me if I want to say, oh, no, it didn't ask me. Okay. Oh, okay. So we would hit B again. And now you can see again at the bottom it says Pokemon Blue/Red. So that's pretty good. So now all we have to do is start game. And it'll ask you if you want codes on or off. Obviously, we're using the Game Shark for the code. So we're just going to hit A for codes on. And at this point, and the Pokemon games tell you that you have to turn off the Game Shark before you can start the game. Like this screen will come up. So I have to go move and turn off the Game Shark. Just the little switch. Obviously, don't turn your entire Game Boy off. And then as soon as I turn it off and the game boots, I'll turn it back on. Okay, so all I did was I turned off the switch and turned it back on. So we should be good to go. So I'll just hit start. and then start again, hit continue, and then, okay, so we're just in my game where I normally am, where I last saved. And so first what we'll do is we'll go get those Master Balls. Oh, I guess we turned on infinite money as well. So you can see my money counter on the top right. It's a very large number. So we can see that the money code did work. Now we hit buy. And so that Master Ball code and that Mewtwo code, what it did was it changes the top item that the Pokemart sells. So in this case, we can see it's TM29. That is Psychic. That was one of those 2 items that we tried to change. And actually, I guess when I try and buy it, it makes it a Master Ball. But so now, what's it going to give me? Oh, another Master Ball. Another Master Ball. So I just kept buying. I think I did end up getting a TM29 there. Let's see what I have. So I have 3 Master Balls and 1 TM29. So that's the problem if you use 2 different items in your codes, is the fact that you could end up, when you go to the Pokemon Mart, I think it kind of randomizes which one you get. But if you have infinite money, obviously you can just keep hitting A and eventually you'll get what you want. But you can see now I have 3 Master Balls and 1 TM29. So that's a little weird. You know, honestly, maybe it would be best if you just did one of these codes at a time, but if you try and just do them all, it might save you a little bit of time. Anyway, so we saw that we have a ton of money now, and now we have Master Balls, and we have TM29 for Psychic. The last thing we want to see is Mewtwo, and so that code we did, what it'll do is it will change random encounters to be Mewtwo. And so it shows a Pidgey, but you can hear that it's actually the cry of Mewtwo that the game plays. I think if this thing attacks you, it will actually use Pidgey attacks, but I'm just going to use one of our new Master Balls to catch it. Obviously, the Master Ball is always going to work, and you can see it says, hey look, you caught Mewtwo. Do you want to give a name to Mewtwo? And I'll say no. And now, Pokemon, you can see I have Mewtwo. And it knows Confusion, Disable, Swift, and Psychic. So that's really helpful if you want to just catch a certain Pokemon. I do believe its level will match whatever kind of levels you are in the game, in the sense that I was on Route 1, I saw a level 3 Pidgey, so Mewtwo is a level 3 Mewtwo. If I was on Victory Road, I could potentially get like a level 40 Mewtwo, if that's what popped up. Another thing is, and I'll link this in the description, but there are codes that you can use to actually change your starter Pokemon. So when you pick your first Pokemon from Professor Oak, you can potentially pick any Pokemon that you want to actually start with. And I'll put that code in the description. The only reason I'm not showing that is because I already have like a game file here, so I don't want to have to go like all the way back or restart the game. But anyway, hopefully you guys find that helpful. If you have any questions or issues, you can always leave a comment and I can try and work it out with you. But, alright, thanks guys.